Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So in this video we are going to be reviewing season 3 of Dynasty. And honestly, Dynasty can sometimes feel like the best TV show out there because it's got brilliant storylines, complicated and hilarious characters, incredible venues and locations that these guys visit, brilliant twists and turns, excellent cliffhanger endings, and that killer storyline intro. Season 3 definitely added to this by continuing all of the storylines from season 2 and by pushing everything a lot further. You would have thought that there can't be any more craziness that can happen to this group of characters, but this show really does just keep on delivering with the brilliant cast that it has and by the brilliant executive producers as well, namely Josh Schwartz and Stephanie Savage, who are the brilliant duo that have done brilliant other TV shows, namely The OC and Gossip Girl, and they've brought their magic to Dynasty, which just makes it such a great show. And I'm going to break down everything about season 3 of Dynasty along with some predictions about what can happen in season 4, so definitely stay and keep on watching. So in terms of the storylines of season 3 of Dynasty, like I said, they continued a lot of the storylines from season 2 and then embarked on a lot of new storylines, which was really cool. It's a shame that they couldn't conclude everything like they wanted to because of the pandemic. But that being said, there were some brilliant storylines in season 3. So let's go through them one by one. So the first one, which is a continuation from season 2, was Liam's amnesia, which is a really interesting storyline that kind of made him forget his relationship with Fallon, everything that happened with Adam towards the end of season 2, and just meant that he was embarking on a kind of a new journey. And Ashley, his ex-girlfriend, or Trashly, as Fallon referred to her as, and his evil mother, Laura Van Kurt, were kind of trying to put Liam on a new path, but obviously love was able to prevail, and Liam and Fallon were able to be reunited and continuing their love story, which was really, really cool. The next storyline strand was all about Femperial and how Kirby now owns this company. The storyline did kind of explore how Fallon was trying to get the company back and did kind of a lot of mischievous stuff in order to get the company back, but ultimately this storyline was kind of dropped. You think Kirby still owns it, but it's never really clarified, but instead Fallon opens up her own new company, Fallon Unlimited. The next storyline strand was all about the Liam and Fallon relationship. I've already spoken about how the amnesia storyline was kind of resolved, but the Liam-Fallon relationship was definitely one throughout the season, and how they have to overcome a lot of obstacles, namely Adam, Laura Van Kirk, Ashley/Trashly, Heidi, Connor, Evan. Evan still hasn't been fully resolved. He was kind of doing some crazy stuff towards the end of the season, so that will obviously be continued next season. But either way, the Liam-Fallon relationship was a big part of this season. The next big storyline strand was all about Alexis's big return. This was an absolutely iconic entrance for the Alexis Carrington character, and how she's now partnered up with Jeff and Adam to really bring down Blake. The rivalry between Alexis and Blake was really apparent in this season, and also her relationship with Fallon as well, how they're kind of partnering up with her podcast. So that was a really interesting storyline, and Alexis was definitely a big force in this season. The next storyline strand was all about Jeff's illness, and this somewhat gets resolved in this season with Adam being the one that kind of saves his life, which was somewhat poetic in the sense that he was the one that caused his illness in the first place. So it was nice to kind of see this storyline being wrapped up. The next storyline strand was all to do with the Alexis and Crystal relationship. And it's a shame that these two iconic characters didn't share more scenes in this season. I know they had the whole storyline strand about Crystal trying to kill Alexis, but apart from that, and they had one little fight, but apart from those two little moments, these two iconic characters didn't really share that much screen time. The next storyline strand was all to do with Blake and Crystal's relationship, and I feel like they are a very powerful and a very formidable duo when they are together. But you know, they ended up having a bit of a separation storyline towards the end of the season, with both of them cheating on each other with different partners, which was a bit of a shame, and hopefully they'll get to find each other again in the next season. The next storyline strand was all about Blake being in prison, and while he's in prison he gets outsmarted by Culhane, which was really interesting, but then ultimately he's able to get out of prison in the usual Blake Carrington way, which is all to do with blackmail, bribery and his wealth. The next storyline strand was all about Culhane having Atlantics all for himself and kind of really being able to push the brand forward, as well as his relationships with both Kirby and Vanessa, and kind of being able to be taken advantage of by both Dominique and Vanessa, but then when he was able to turn the tables on them, that was absolutely brilliant. The next storyline strand was all to do with Dominique, and in a show full of people that are very self-obsessed and only really caring about themselves, Dominique is definitely the most narcissistic and self-obsessed character in the mix. And you know, she will do nothing. She will stop at nothing to get what she wants, and even going to the point of trying to get her own reality TV show. So this character was just absolutely crazy, and like I said before, will stop at nothing to get what she wants. We then have the two somewhat comic relief type characters who didn't have as big meaty storylines, but you know, still were there with their own little storylines as well. The first of which was Kirby and her relationship with Fallon kind of being a bit imbalanced, and then kind of being on friendship terms, her relationship with Adam. And who can forget the moment where she joined a self-help cult as well. We then have Sammy Joe, who had really nice scenes all to do with the hotel that he's now got. And you know, the relationship that he has with Anders when they were kind of bouncing off each other, but then when Anders kind of went back to the Carringtons in the end. And then we also have the relationship that he had with the married PR guy, and then the relationship that he also has with his old friend that kind of came back, who he trusted, but then ended up being a traitor towards them. So all in all, you know, the third season definitely had some more dramatic storylines and some hilarious, light-hearted comedic storylines. But overall, it was such a brilliant season from a storyline and story narrative point of view. So the cast and characters of this show are honestly absolutely brilliant. The cast just play these characters so well, and they really match the unique tone of Dynasty so well as well. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, we have Liz Gillies as Fallon Carrington. And honestly, this was just a phenomenal casting. Liz Gillies just effortlessly and flawlessly plays this character so well. You know, Fallon Carrington is a character that's really full of herself and really self-absorbed, and is very over the top as well. But also, she has a heart of gold underneath it all, and is a very loyal character. And I just feel like Liz Gillies plays Fallon Carrington incredibly well. We then have Grant Show, who plays Blake Carrington. And I feel like in this season, he definitely got back his darker, more narcissistic and ruthless kind of edge to this character. I feel like in the second season, he definitely became a lot of a nicer character. Whereas in the first season and in this season, you kind of see the more self-centered, ruthless, darker side of this character. Next up, we have Sam Underwood as Adam Carrington. And he definitely is a character that you do love to hate. I feel like he went on an interesting journey and arc this season. He kind of went from being really nasty to kind of becoming a bit nice to kind of becoming nasty again. And you know, in the second season, he was an absolutely ruthless, dark, evil character. And I feel like towards the end of the third season, they kind of went back to his roots a little bit. So that'll be really interesting to kind of see how that gets re-explored next season. Next up, we have Alan Dale as Anders. And I feel like this is the longest role that Alan Dale has had in a kind of Josh Schwartz, Stephanie Savage type show. So hopefully he stays a lot longer, as he is a brilliant character, excellent comedic timing as Anders, and is a very loyal character to the Carrington family. Next up, we have Elaine Hendrix as the recasted Alexis Carrington. And she was just absolutely brilliant in the role. She just fitted into this role so well, and even looks a lot like the Fallon Carrington character, which is really cool. I just can't wait for her to have more scenes with the other characters, as I just feel like she'll be brilliant interacting with all of the other different characters. But at least what we see of her in this season was really cool. We then have Adam Hoover as Liam, and he is a really cool character here as well. I really liked all of his amnesia storylines, all of the hurdles that him and Fallon have to go through. He was a little bit more self-righteous in this season than he was in the other seasons, very judgmental. But you know, that being said, he was really cool. I feel like in this season, he was a lot more of a supportive character. And in future, it'd be nice to kind of see him leading his own storylines. Jeff Colby, very similarly, was a bit of a supporting character, I felt, this season. Had some really cool moments, but I just feel like it would be really nice to kind of see the more darker side of this character and kind of leading his own storylines next season. But at least, you know, what you do see of him in this season was really great. We then have Culhane, and it was a really interesting journey as well that he went on in this season. I was really intrigued to see where they would take this character after all of the prison stuff. And then when he was doing the whole Atlantic stuff, when he was kind of getting revenge on Vanessa and Dominique, I just feel like, okay, this is a really great character arc for this character. Speaking of Dominique, I just feel like she was a brilliant character entrance for this show. And in this season in particular, she was just so self-obsessed, so self-righteous, so self-absorbed, and will just do anything and everything to kind of have the life that she really feels like she deserves. So it's just a brilliant, hilarious force of a character. This is the third recast of the Crystal Carrington character. I feel like it took me a little while to get used to the actress, but you know, after a while I feel like she owns the role really well. I do personally still prefer the Anna Brenda actress in this role, but you know, that being said, I feel like this new actress is able to hold her own with the Crystal Carrington character. And then, like I said before, we then also have the Kirby character and Sammy Joe. And in this season, they were a lot more less of a presence in the show. But you know, with the Sammy Joe character, he definitely had his whole hotel side of the character, and all of the storylines were to do with that. Kirby, I personally found her a little bit annoying this season. I just kind of didn't really enjoy that many of her storylines, and I just found her character to be really annoying. So hopefully we'll get to see more from these two characters as well. But all in all, you know, the characters, cast, actors, everything to do with the characters and actors are really, really strong this season, and I cannot wait to see where they take it next season. From a visuals point of view, this is definitely one of the strongest aspects of Dynasty. It just looks absolutely incredible. All of the mansions, all of the hotels, all of the locations that they go to, all of the cars, all of the parties, everything just looks absolutely breathtaking, and you really do feel like you're invited into the world of true billionaires, true lavish lifestyles, and you know, the world of the rich and famous just looks absolutely incredible in Dynasty. You kind of just want to jump on a plane and fly to Atlanta so that you can live this lifestyle. So from a visuals point of view, this show is absolutely awesome. In terms of comparisons, like I said in the beginning, I honestly do feel like Dynasty is one of the strongest shows out there at the moment. And in terms of comparing it to the other seasons within Dynasty, I'd say it's pretty much even with seasons 1 and seasons 2. I feel like some of the storylines are better in this season, some of the storylines are better in the other season, some of the characters and actors are better than this season, some of the characters and actors are better in other seasons. So overall, I feel like it's on par with seasons 1 and season 2. So yeah, overall I feel like season 3 is very strong, and in terms of comparing it to other TV shows, is definitely one of the strongest ones out there at the moment. I already cannot wait for season 4 of Dynasty. Who knows when that will happen because of the whole coronavirus stuff, but either way, let's do some predictions about what could happen in season 4 of Dynasty. So my first prediction is that we'll get the Fallon and Liam wedding. I'm sure that there will be lots of hurdles that these guys have to overcome, and when they are a married couple again, I'm sure that there will be loads of hurdles, but either way I feel like they'll get there happily ever after. I feel like Blake and Crystal will reunite. I'm sure they'll find out about the cheating that they've both done, and they'll have a couple of hurdles as well to overcome, but I feel like these two will then inevitably be reunited. I feel like the Colby trio of siblings will be having a bit of a reunion as well. Monica kind of just disappeared this season, so I feel like she will come back, and along with Jeff and Vanessa, they'll have a bit of a trio. I feel like Alexis and Dominique will form a bit of a formidable double act, and I feel like they will be attacking a lot of the other characters, and then they'll both kind of turn on each other, which will be really funny. I feel like Stephen Carrington will make a bit of a comeback. I feel like Adam will probably hurt Anders after the revelation that Kirby said that, you know, she found out the truth that Adam is a lot more dangerous than he makes out to be. And I feel like Culhane will be the hero that kind of saves the day for everyone. So, you know, I cannot wait for season 4, as I'm sure it'll be an awesome season. Overall, I'm sure you can tell I am a massive fan of Dynasty, and I felt the 3rd season was really, really cool. I absolutely love all of the storylines, I absolutely love this world, I love all of the characters, I love all of the unpredictability of everything, I love all of the twists and turns, I love all of the cliffhangers, and I just cannot wait to see where this whole thing goes with the next season, which will be absolutely awesome. But as far as season 3 goes, I'm going to give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.